Hey everybody, here we are, episode 187 of Is This Thing Working? How you doing, Denise?
I am doing awesome today.
I hear you.
I am doing great. I'm glad to be here with you on this Thursday. There's a lot going on today, but what is the number one issue that we hear all of the posts saying over and over and over again?
The big number one issue is the economy.
Yes, ma'am, and sir.
Yep.
100%. It's our
Right.
economy. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to get into some weeds on the economy.
We got to admit the economy really is the biggest thing. You're right. It is the biggest issue. And, you know, if we just think about this, yesterday I go to the grocery store. I had my little list that I went, and I bought 2 packages of sliced cheese. I bought 2 packages of grated cheese that happened to be on sale, you know, bread, and a few other little small items, brown gravy and those kind of little things like that. Some tuna fish, a little bit of chicken salad. And I come away spending $93. And it was crazy because once I got out and got to looking at everything that I had when I got back home and started to put it back up, hell, it was basically sandwich items. I mean, really, $93.
I remember asking you, and you didn't get any meat.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like shocked, $93 and not one piece of
it was
protein
basically
meat.
it was basically a couple of little cans of tuna fish, a couple of little cans of chicken salad, some bread, some grated cheese, and some sliced cheese to go along with it, and an air filter for the air conditioner. Man, that's it. I mean basically,
it's amazing to me what's going on with this economy now. And folks, we really, really need to pay attention because there's a lot of information out there about Kamala and what she's going to do with this economy. And
how she's going to try to shift away from the Bidenomics and basically deny that she's had anything to do with this in the last 4 years. We know, we talked about this the other day, that in 2022, she was the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act, which brought what?
Inflation.
The mess we're in now.
Yeah, even more so. Because at the time in 2022, we all knew that them passing this bill was going to do this to everybody. We knew it. It was already high inflation at the time. I mean, and that's what is terrible about the Bidenomics that's going on right now. They know about it, and they want to continue to tell you that it's not happening everywhere. But we're going to talk about the economy. We're going to talk about President Trump's campaign and the leaks and all kinds of stuff coming out about that today.
Yeah, a lot of news come out.
A lot of news. But first, we need to listen to Cornbread Hemp.
We would like to welcome our new sponsor to Is This Thing Working? So help us welcome Cornbread Hemp. Their mission is to draw on Kentucky's 250-year legacy of growing hemp, as well as the state's unique climate and soil, to manufacture the highest quality cannabis products available in America. They proudly offer full-spectrum, USDA organic CBD products with up to 2 milligrams of THC per serving. Their plants are grown in what's known as the Bluegrass Basin, which produces the highest quality hemp alongside the best bourbon and fastest racehorses. Cornbread Hemp is one of the very few, if not only, CBD brands in America who exclusively use the hemp flower to create their CBD extract, called Flower Only CBD, and they want the world to know.
Please check out Cornbread Hemp by going to cornbreadhemp.com right now for a 30% off your initial purchase of any products on the website. Again, go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code ITTW for this special offer. Remember, you get 30% off, promo code ITTW. Thank you for supporting our sponsors.
And before we start our show, we want to state that these are our opinions and they're our assertions. If you like our opinions and our assertions, share our show. And if you don't like our opinions and our assertions, share our show.
Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms like Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And don't forget to download that Rumble app so you can follow the show and you will receive instant notifications when we go live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Everybody, welcome to the show today.
Let's get this
We
thing
got
rolling.
a lot to discuss.
Yes, we do. What's the first thing we need to talk about? Which is
Bannon. Oh my gosh, Steve Bannon. He has been a political prisoner of the Biden and Harris regime. Now remember, I said Biden and Harris, they're going to claim when they go to take President Trump, his sentencing. So remember that when President Trump is being sentenced on September 18th, that it is the Biden and Harris administration behind everything.
Exactly.
And of course, Steve Bannon has now been there for 44 days. But we have a great call to action for you today. It's a fun one. The call to action is that the Trump campaign will hire you. Yes, they will. And if
Full-time, part-time?
Full-time and part-time. And within the last 72 hours, of course, that's all volunteer. So, but all you have to do is go to www.turnoutfortrump.com. This help get President Trump elected and you get paid for it. That would be awesome. And I know everyone that we have been putting out call to actions, and there's a lot. And that's why we ask you to get your number 2 pencil and write it all down like Steve Bannon is always telling us. And pick one. Pick one that you're interested in. It's a call to action. We need everybody to pick wherever they're most comfortable at. We don't want to force you to do anything that you're not comfortable with.
The one that I'm most comfortable with, and I hope that everybody else is another one of our very important call to actions, is to call your Congress, call your senators, call your House of Representatives, call them and let them know they have got to come in there and do something about the illegitimate January 6th committee, which is the reason that we have people being in jail right now as political prisoners. To me, you're not going to get to talk to these people personally, but that's the best part of it. Speak your mind to them. Tell them exactly what you think.
You know, they get every message that you leave. You know, so continue to call and leave a message on their voicemails, and they get it. So here we go.
Yeah, one of the things in the news that we've heard about, and I've heard Brett Baer say this yesterday too, he reported on this, that a lot of the advice that President Trump is getting is that he needs to stay on policy and not go back to the insults or that kind of thing, to tone it down. But you know, President Trump in President Trump fashion, he's not going to tone it down if he can help it. He comes right out this morning and puts out a statement on Truth Social. It's pretty funny. He said, Kamala Harris wants nothing to do with crooked Joe Biden. They're throwing him out on the Monday night stage known as Death Valley. He now hates Obama and Crazy Nancy more than he hates me. He's an angry man, as he should be. They stole the presidency from him. It was a coup.
100% it was a coup. And we've been talking about this for weeks now, about how they stole this from him. And then Nancy Pelosi is out everywhere. I mean, I see her now out there saying, hey, look, I'm the good guy, but she's really not. But when she comes out and says that her husband's...
Yeah, I've seen that little headline too, talking about that. What she's doing is trying to do her best to distance herself now from this coup, because she was one of the ones named in it.
Yeah, she was named in it. Obama was named in it, you know, and he still comes out. You know, he doesn't say anything.
He's running things.
Well, I know, but he's just so...
Yeah, and I think
look at what he's done to the country. Absolutely destroyed the country.
Yep.
You know, in my opinion. But yesterday, Dan Bongino, he comes out and exposes Kellyanne Conway and her incessant leaking tactics to attack J.D. Vance because he is not Ukraine first. You know, and I've been reading that there's been some leaks going on out of the Trump campaign. And they despise J.D. Vance. They did not want him to be the vice president. And
they wanted Rubio or somebody like that.
Yes, they wanted people that they really wanted Nikki Haley, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Nikki Haley wanted Nikki Haley too.
Well, of course she did. You know, so there are tons of leaks coming out. There's also been rumors that there's like a 271 page dossier on J.D. Vance, you know, so that's being leaked, little bits here and there. A video of Bongino. Listen to what he has to say.
So I'm going to say to Kellyanne and others, it's time to pipe down. You've been warned. I've had about enough. J.D. Vance was a great pick. J.D. Vance has upsides and downsides like any other pick, but he's fantastic. He's been doing great, and the leaks got to stop. You know that story's bullshit. The president, they love J.D. Vance. You're making this up. These are leaks designed to sabotage the campaign. because there's a whole lot of money to be made by making sure you get people interested in funding your endeavors in that position. I'm really sorry to have to bring this up, folks. We should be focused on winning. But according to this article I saw this morning, which that's it, rope, end of it, I'm done. And I know you're watching, Kellyanne and others. I'm not in this for friends. You want a friend? Go get a motherfucking dog, okay? I'm not anybody's friend. You know who's my friend? Winning.
There he is. Dan Bongino tells it like it is. We are not friends with any of these people. And the moment that they continue to come out and leak important campaign information is really out of control. It is going against what we've been all working so hard for. And changing J.D. Vance at this time in the game is the wrong way to do things.
You bet.
And to come out and just expose him like that and attack him like that. I will have to say this about soon-to-be Vice President J.D. Vance. He is everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and the leaks doesn't surprise me, and not so much maybe that the leaks themselves, but what the leaks are about. They come out with this dossier on JD. You know, the thing is, if it had been Rubio, that'd have come out with a dossier. If it had been Burgum, that'd have come out with a dossier. This was just their game to come along with this and do this. And I agree with Bongino, man. That's not how we need to play the game. We're in here to do what? Talk about the things that bother our country, the things that bother me and you, which is the meat and potato items, which is our economy, which is our open border, which is the policies that have brought us. Because each and every person here that's listening will agree that we had a better economy under President Trump than even 1 year of a Biden economy. So that's where we need to focus on. And these leaks and things, ignore that crap like he's talking about, and let's keep moving forward and talk about the real things. Talk to people that understand that going to the grocery store and buying sandwich food is basically a $93 trip.
I know. And there are people out there that are coming out and they are saying right away, I'm voting for President Trump because I remember what it was like when he was a president.
Yeah, and that's a good...
People have not forgotten. And these people in the office right now in the Harris-Biden administration think that you're stupid, think that you have forgotten the fact that before COVID happened, how great America was moving forward as the money making. I can remember being so proud that, hey man, we have money in the bank.
Right.
We have a savings.
People's portfolios were growing, man. People, it was good times. The economy was good. Inflation was down. Gas was less than $2 a gallon. Things were good. And, Biden come out in 20 and ran the basement campaign. And Kamala's trying to do the same thing, and they're doing this just to try to memory hold people on Kamala's stances and on what she really believes. But there's a lot of the things that come out about her that people don't know. That's why we talk about being informed and being engaged, because a lot of these things that if you just go ahead and take the basement campaign at its worth and go, well, here's a list of the 10 radical positions that Kamala Harris takes that the media is trying to help her hide from us. The Media Research Center, Brent Bozell, he said it's 2020 all over again. As it stands now, another leftist media cover-up will decide the election. So Media Research Center went and done a poll, and they surveyed 1,200 registered Democrat and independent voters on Harris's issues and on what Harris truly supports or what she doesn't. And this is some of the things that it talks about, the top 10 radical positions. Kamala Harris would consider allowing death row inmates to vote. 14% are aware that that's happened. 86% are unaware of that. This is the game they're playing. Harris supports the elimination of private health insurance. Only 19% of the people polled were aware of that position of hers. 81% said they were unaware. Her support in abolishing ICE. 23 were aware, 77 weren't aware.
Harris co-sponsored the Green New Deal. 27% were aware of it. 73% unaware. Now, this is what I don't understand right here. Now, I'm reading down this list. And then there's another one. Harris never visited a conflict zone on the border as borders are. 28% are aware and 72 are not aware of that. So where have they been? Where are these people? These are people that do not watch the news.
These are people that don't really pay attention to a lot of the politics. They just do their thing every day and go on along. But then come November,
they're going to vote for things they're unaware of.
Exactly. That's why it's so important.
And
to
that's
keep
what they
people
did
informed.
to Biden in 2020.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
they hid the Hunter laptop. They hid the Burisma deals. They hid tried to hide the quid pro quo. All of that, man.
Yeah, and they're doing the exact same thing. Folks, we really need to wake you up. I mean, they are turning our country into socialism. And from everything I've read so far, that is all Kamala Harris wants to do. She is to give a speech in North Carolina this week, blaming grocery stores and corporations for high food prices. And if you just read the headline, I'm getting this from the Gateway Pundit from Mike LaChance. He writes, Kamala Harris is set to give a speech in North Carolina this Friday, blaming grocery stores and corporations for high food prices. And they go on to say this is dishonest and stupid. Now, I will say this is dishonest and stupid because the inflation and high food prices are being caused by the policies that they put in place by her and Joe Biden.
Exactly.
And the people who run grocery stores, it's stupid because any moron would believe this argument. That's
right.
what they go on to say here.
He goes on to say it's dishonest because grocery stores also have a tiny profit margin. Most grocery chains are bending over backwards to remain competitive. And that's true. And think about that, not only them, but the farmers themselves. Think about how their profit margins are affected by all of this, man.
Absolutely. But what this leads to, folks, is communism. Because if you tell and ban corporations from a federal ban, now this is a federal ban that she's talking about, ban them from price gouging, then that is telling all of our corporations that you can't go above this amount of, right? That's all you're allowed. You know, that's what to do.
It's communism.
Yes.
Yeah,
But people are pushing back on this. And I'm glad to see that because people don't know her policies. She has not come out with them. She's slowly leaking what she thinks she believes, you know, that you're going to, you know, bite on in order to continue. What they do is they leak this. They leak this before she actually comes out on Friday. So they're expecting you to give your opinion, and if there's too much of a pushback, well, we're not going to do that. But behind the scenes, they are. They're telling you what they're doing. They're putting them all out there, and, you know, kind of like a poll to see who likes it and who doesn't.
Right.
That's how the Democrats do it. But they let you know at first, and then they change their stance. And that is what's going to happen. So we need to pay attention to this. This is what she will do if they decide that they're going to, you know, win.
right. And
You know, they decide this,
yeah.
by the way.
Well, and talk about the whole dishonesty of her and her campaign and everything that she's trying to do. Even like yesterday during President Trump's speech in Asheville, and he talked about the insulin prices, that he was the one that put the cap on that. And they tried to fact check him. Here's what he said yesterday in Asheville concerning that.
Kamala and Joe tried to take credit for $35 insulin. You know that. You know who did that? I did that.
And so then they come out, $35 insulin. I did that. I did the insulin. That's what President Trump said. And they go, fact check. This is from at Kamala HQ. She goes, fact check. This is a blatant lie. Trump did not cap insulin costs. Biden-Harris did that for seniors through the Inflation Reduction Act. Trump's Project 2025 wants to repeal it, which would raise insulin costs for over 1 million Americans, which is a lie. And you see how they immediately try to throw Project 2025 in there to deflect from the truth, because no sooner than she put that out and tried to fact check it, then Trump War Room comes back and says, we got a fact check of your fact check. President Trump was the one who announced this executive order in May of 2020, capping the cost of insulin at $35. One of Biden's first acts as president was repealing this executive order so he could take credit for it.
I remember that when that happened too. We were screaming. And then for a couple of years, we kept screaming it, and no one else was.
Yep.
No one else would say anything about it. And I'm like, hey, aren't you fighting back? Or why aren't you telling people that President Trump is the one that did it first?
Yep.
And I remember when he did it first, but that's what they do. They memory hole you. And I'm sorry, but you have to watch conservative news as well. They will memory hole that as well.
But here he comes, and this was what he said. And this was back in 2020.
Today, I'm proud to announce that we have reached a breakthrough agreement to dramatically slash the out-of-pocket cost of insulin. You know what's happened to insulin over the years, right? Through the roof. Insulin. So many people, so necessary.
There you go.
There's your proof.
Yeah.
Right there. So what they always like to do is memory hole anything President Trump does that was wonderful, and that was one of the great things that he did do.
Another big story from yesterday involving President Trump. Palm Beach mayor threatens to shut down Mar-a-Lago estate. The great Jim Hoff brings us this article, too. This is crazy. He says that Palm Beach Mayor Danielle Moore is taking a hardline stance against President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, exploring the possibility of shutting down the iconic property as local residents reportedly voice growing concerns over their safety. It says that they don't feel safe due to the heightened security measures around Mar-a-Lago. South Ocean Boulevard, the road alongside Donald Trump's Florida estate, has been closed by the Secret Service since July 13th following an assassination attempt on the former president. I don't know, guys, but to me that sounds like pretty good security. That sounds like a measure that should be taken. But apparently people are starting to fuss about it. Here she goes. And it says during a recent town council meeting, council member Julie Araskog revealed that she had received calls from residents who were finding it difficult to reach their caregivers due to new checkpoints. There were concerns about how these might delay emergency response times. She goes on to say, y'all residents don't feel safe right now. This is crazy.
It is crazy. You know, but this is what happened after he was almost assassinated. What did they expect? I mean, people, listen, he was almost assassinated. And Nancy Pelosi comes out and says her husband's attack was more important than that. I mean, they really hate him so much that they don't care. They don't care about his security whatsoever. And neither does this mayor or the people that are complaining. You know, I get that it's rough right now. Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You can go out and vote for President Trump on November 5th, and then he will be in the White House and we'll move along.
I agree.
You know, but that is his estate. And I get that it's gotten crazy in New Jersey, Bedminster, where he's at now. And wherever he goes, there's a lot of security around him right now. And he needs protection. And the Secret Service is already under tremendous scrutiny on this right here. I mean, there's been so much going on. And then we have this guy that from Loudoun County who people, remember we told you a couple of days ago about how he broke into President Trump's campaign office? Well, they've identified the man. They're still looking for him.
Yeah, we said it'd probably be pretty easy to identify because he had a real good, clear picture of his face.
Exactly.
Man.
It was like he was almost... You know, like that he was doing it on purpose.
The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office had a media release, and they said that they're seeking the suspect in connection with this burglary at the Trump for President 2024 campaign office in Ashburn, Virginia on August the 11th. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office secured a warrant for the arrest of Toby Shane Kessler, 39, of no fixed address on the charge of burglary, entering dwelling house, etc., with intent to commit larceny, assault, and battery or other felony in connection with the break-in at the local office.
You know, what is up with all these? I mean, things are just going around, and how come they haven't found him? I see that you found who he is. I understand, what, is he homeless? He doesn't have an address. But I wonder because, you know, conspiracy theories happen when stuff like this goes on and you can't find this guy who's obviously done this regularly. Is he being paid by somebody to go into the office to get some? People said he had a backpack.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and to say he had no fixed address, I mean, that's kind of crazy, too, because if you've identified him, then you at least have his last address. You know of his last known place. That would be helpful for the public to know.
Yeah, and he does have quite a bit of a
big record, too.
Of a record here.
It goes back as far as 2015.
Yeah, but this all in San Francisco, you know. That's what I found odd.
So he made it from California, a homeless man.
He went from California to Cocoa Beach, Florida, to San Augustine, Florida, to Virginia. From April to August
Yeah.
in Virginia. So, yeah, this is all kind of odd to me. Just looking at it, looking at where he's from. I mean, I could see but who would like pay him to go to Virginia? So I don't know. This is just kind of strange to me. I think the whole thing is kind of a coincidence that all this is happening around President Trump's campaign, the leaks that we've been talking about, the burglaries, the security. I believe that there's a reason for all this, so we need to pay attention. That's why we brought this to you today. It's a signal, not noise. Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. We couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.